Hi, everyone. This is Renata Martinez with Think Reliability, and today I wanted to talk about facilitation tip number 5, and that's to avoid using names during your incident investigation. I know it's natural to bring up names during conversation, especially regarding a specific event. It's how we refer to people, but I just really want you to keep it off of your cause maps. As soon as you put a name on the cause map or begin talking about a person, that person tends to perceive blame, even if you don't have a blame culture at your organization. And let's be real, we're already talking to someone that's probably been involved in an incident that made some sort of mistake or was involved in a serious incident. And it's already difficult enough to get them to open up. So we want to make this conversation as painless on them as possible. By focusing on the specifics of the incident, I think it naturally leads the discussion to the work process as well. So it will drive past that cause of that person and hopefully back into a work process where you can find some systemic work process improvement opportunities. So looking at a 6Y cause map regarding a potential safety incident, we said we had a potential for injury because Joe began to work on a live line, because the line was not isolated effectively, because valve 304 remained open. Valve 304 remained open because Adam mistakenly closed valve 309, and there was the field or the board check on that valve was ineffective. So let's look at Joe began to work on the live line first. As soon as you put Joe's name on there, as a facilitator, it's been my experience that immediately they become defensive or start to justify, why they began work, which is very good information for the cause map. We just don't want Joe's name to be on there, and we want to extract the information factually and neutrally and objectively. So rather than saying Joe began work on the live line, we're going to indicate Joe's department, which in this case it's maintenance. So we're going to indicate that maintenance began work on the live line. Now, this might not work in your specific organization, but generally I find that by categorizing into departments, there's a little bit less defensiveness and blame around that. However, in your organization, if maintenance is still getting too much heat and you as a facilitator are feeling like maintenance is being specifically called out and reacting to that, you might want to consider another label, maybe a technician, or maybe just employee 1. If there are multiple employees involved, you might have to even draw a schematic. So if you do put employee 1 in a cause box, the reader can understand who that refers to on a diagram. Generally, I don't tend to have an issue with departments, but just be sensitive to that. As we back down the cause map and understand why valve 304 remained open, Adam becomes the focus of this part of the map because he mistakenly closed valve 309. Again, we're going to substitute Adam's name with the department that he's in. So operations mistakenly closed valve 309. And that way we can take the heat off Adam a little bit and understand why that valve was mistakenly closed. We know Adam wasn't going to work to try to make a mistake, and he probably already feels bad about closing the wrong valve. So we really want to understand how he was set up to perform this task, what tools he had to perform this task, what sort of reference information, etc. And I get a lot of managers that will say, well, if we don't blame anybody and if there's no consequence for a mistake, how are our employees supposed to learn and how are they supposed to remain accountable? By understanding what led to this valve mistakenly being closed, we can understand if there are work process opportunities within the training, within qualifying our employees, with the reference material that the employees are using, the tools that they're using, maybe some sort of procedures or checklists. We can also understand the manager's accountability on it. We really want to make sure that the employees are performing work per our expectations. And I find a lot of times that managers aren't checking in. If we expect them to follow a procedure and they're not following a procedure, we want to understand why. So when a manager approaches me about not reprimanding or blaming an employee, I really try to put the mirror up in front of that manager and understand, from their perspective, how they could have been more accountable to that employee to help set that employee up for success. I hope that helps with facilitation tip number 5 and why we recommend avoid using names throughout your investigation. There are also other tips on our website related to the importance of specific language in your cause maps. So check out the additional tips. Take care. Bye-bye.